Welcome back to ABC News Live. First, a judge in the Sean Diddy Combs trial has officially dismissed a juror. Prosecutors had requested the juror be removed due to, quote, lack of candor. The defense argued they just wanted to dismiss a black juror. Chief investigative correspondent Arun Subramanian is outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. So, Arun, what was the issue with this juror?
His candor, according to the judge, Diane. The judge said he gave conflicting answers when asked a pretty basic question. Where do you live? And during jury selection, he said he lived in the Bronx. He then mentioned somewhat casually to a court staff member that he had moved to New Jersey. And then when questioned about it, he gave conflicting answers about whether he was actually living in the Bronx or whether he was living in New Jersey. And the judge said that raised broader questions about his candor and whether he made a deliberate attempt to try and get himself seated onto the jury for this particular trial. And he said that could not stand.
Arun, the defense has made arguments that this is racially motivated. How does this affect the makeup of the jury now?
It does make it, I guess, a bit whiter. The replacement alternate is a 57-year-old architect from Westchester County. But the judge noted that race isn't a concern because it is a diverse jury, even with the dismissal of this 41-year-old black man from either the Bronx or New Jersey. And the judge also said it would be inappropriate for him to consider race when making the decision as to whether this juror's candor made it appropriate for him to stick around.
Now, prosecutors are expected to wrap this weekend, this week, I should say. So what are you watching for as they call their final witnesses?
Well, the one on the stand right now is just a summary witness. It's a paralegal from the U.S. Attorney's Office trying to help the jury organize some of the 500-plus exhibits they've seen over the last several weeks. We expect a couple of those. There's one additional substantive witness, though, and that's a former assistant to Sean Combs, someone else who might be able to tell the jury about drugs, about setting up hotels, about how he treated people in his orbit as prosecutors seek to prove that he was running a criminal enterprise.
Then, of course, the defense will start calling their own witnesses. Any indication whether Diddy will testify in his own defense?
Not yet. The defense had told the judge last week that they would make representations about the contours of its case this week. Now, we haven't heard anything from the defense yet. We do know we expect the defense to call at least one witness, a psychological expert, to counteract the psychological testimony of a prosecution expert about how alleged victims of sex trauma process what's happened to them. But we don't know what else the defense may have in store, including whether Sean Combs himself will testify in his own defense.
All right, Arun Subramanian outside the courthouse for us. Thanks, Arun. And for more, be sure to follow our special show covering the trial Burden of Proof. That's on Disney Plus and Hulu weekdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific.